Hello. I'm having the craziest hair day, so I thought I would just embrace it. And, you know, artists don't put on makeup every day. Artists don't necessarily even do their hair every day. And I have a very tight schedule of how much I have to get done per day art-wise. So I thought that we would sit down this morning and do a little bit of reading out of two of my favorite books that we don't really read out of a ton. And this is probably the Scott Cunningham book that I found is talked about the least. Ricky, I was going to say that, but then I didn't. But it's totally true. I mean, you know. Good morning, love. It's so good to see you. It was lovely to Skype chat with you yesterday and meet you properly. And I would love to meet more of you properly via video chat and Skype whenever y'all want. Hey, Mama Hennessy, how are you? She says, hey, I was just about to add to Skype me. That's hilarious. We're thinking about each other at the same time. Go ahead and send me that Skype message and then come back. Now, I was trying to debate, am I going to come on here this morning and talk about Friends, the show Friends, which I love and we talked about a little bit last night? Or am I going to come on here and talk about like a set topic of, hoodoo and that, right? Well, it looks like I made my choice, and I chose work over fun, but this kind of work is fun for me. Anyway, what I was saying about this book. I feel like this Scott Cunningham book is probably one that's almost the least talked about, that I hear people ask questions from the least. And I think it's because a lot of us have the Stone Bible, or a Stone Bible of some sort. There's this big chunk of books called the Stone Bible 1, 2, 3, etc. That's what I get. But I get so much different information from this, and I think it's really cool to put the two books together and see how much more you get from Scotty. So I highly recommend this to everybody. This is the old cover. I got it from Thrift Books, and I love having the old cover of things. I paid $2 less, and I got the vintage version. So I couldn't tell you what the real front cover nowadays looks like. But let me just, read a couple of the quotes from the back to you guys if you've not checked this book out. But crystals, gems, and metals. So this book is really important for hoodoo, and it's a great book to have in hoodoo because it's talking about metals. Hi, Clint's Crafts. How are you, man? Good to see you here. So within this book, Anodia Judith, who wrote The Wheels of Life, said, the master herbalist has at last brought us to the mineral kingdom. Well organized, well researched, and user-friendly, this book is a splendid addition to the magical library. So, great book for witchcraft, Wicca, and hoodoo. Okay. I'm doing really good, thank you, Clint. I'm doing good, baby. How you doing? That's a Friends reference. We were talking about Friends last night. Okay. The person who wrote the Complete Crystal Guidebook, the Complete Crystal Guidebook, I think that might be the one I was talking about, the Crystal Bible, I don't know, says a well-researched book presenting many potential uses of stones and metals for the reader to try out. And then another person, Alan Richardson, Dancer to the God's Priestess, that's the book that Alan wrote, said, I have long suspected that the true source of magic is not to be found in the stellar realms and rarefied philosophies, but is in fact buried within the earth. That's awesome. Without actual experience of this most ancient revelation, the magic is always in danger of being no more than noises in the head and empty words. Scott Cunningham's book gives us a clear and direct means of making our own links within the inner structure of the Great Mother. And I think that that's really well said. Scott Cunningham's books give us the wisdom and a clear, direct means of making our own links with the inner structures of Great Mother. And then Sun Bear, who wrote Path of Power, founder of the Bear Tribe, said, Native people have always felt a strong spiritual connection to stone. And again, remember the Native Americans and the practicers of hoodoo back in the, hundreds of years ago, they got along famously. And they were both practicing magic, very different types, but they were both like really good earth magics. So I think it's important to say that. Native people have always felt a strong spiritual connection to stone. Scott Cunningham's well-researched book, I feel, validates our feelings and thoughts about stones and minerals of the spiritual power. So the Native Americans, of at least the Bear tribe, were really impressed with the way that this was written. And I just want to say that another book that we'll do today is Sticks, Stones, Roots, and Bones, one of my favorite books on hoodoo, and a few of you, including Joyce Jordan, has recently gotten this book, so we'll be excited for those of you who can follow along. And it's fun to put your own commentary or notes that we think of together right in the book. There's plenty of space for words there. Think of your books and all that extra edge space as your little journal, you know, so you don't have to take that out, or you can take notes for your Book of Shadows. Now, this book that we're talking about, Scotty's book, and his birthday is June 27th, so we're going to have a birthday party for Scott Cunningham on my channel. He's passed away. In the middle, it's got some colored pictures of stones, but there's really only like 8 pages or 10 pages. So you're not really getting a good picture in this book of the stones, whereas in a lot of the other ones you will. But, you know, it goes into a lot of amazing things in here. So I thought that what we would do is, this is if anybody had any questions, like, is there a certain stone that you want me to look up from this, or a certain type of metal? I can name all the metals to you guys. Let me read the table of contents, and then we can kind of choose a chapter or a section together to read about. Hey Nello, how are you? Good morning. Praise be, sister, sending love. Got my Book of Shadows out, taking notes. That's great. I'm so happy. That's exactly what I want to be doing, and I want you guys to be doing. It's great. So, we have Chapter 1, The Power of Stones. Chapter 2, Magic. Chapter 3, Stone Energies. Chapter 4, The Rainbow of Power. I can't read full chapters because they're quite long, but within the chapter we'll be able to find things to read about. Chapter 4, The Rainbow of Power. Chapter 5, Hearts, Diamonds, and Stars, The Magic of Form. Chapter 6, Obtaining Stones. Rose Quartz? Alright, you bet. So we've chosen Rose Quartz. I'll continue reading the table of contents, and then we'll read what we can in Scotty's book about Rose Quartz. I'm excited. Look how nutty my hair is. I need to go through and separate my dreads. It's just been painful, and I don't have time. So thanks for the, thanks for hanging out with me in my messy hair. Chapter 8, Chapter 7, Cleansing the Stones. Chapter 8, The Worries Within Stone, or The Stories Within Stones. I'm like, the worries? What worries? Let's sit down, y'all. Have a seat. Have a seat, Jennifer. It is your room. Ah, yes, it is my room. So Chapter 8, The Stories Within Stones. Chapter 9, Stone Divinations. Chapter 10, A Stone Tarot. That sounds really interesting. Chapter 11, The Magic of Jewelry. You'd love to hear about iron as well? That's awesome, because I was just reading about iron this morning. So Nella, we're going to talk about rose quartz and iron for sure.
There you go, the fucking dentist.
Oh, I'm sorry, hon. That would make my morning horrible. Alex came in and said, I just got a phone call. I have to go to the dentist. I'm like, no. Hi, Witchy Susie Q. Is Tangy here? Hey, Tangerine. I will witch. Hi, everybody. Okay. So, The Magic of Jewelry. Chapter 12, Stone Spells. And then there's Part 2, which is Magic and Lore. Encyclopedia listings of the major magical stones. So we'll definitely be looking in there for the rose quartz as well. Part 3, The Magic of Metals. Encyclopedia listings on major metals. So in those back sections, basically what we've got is Part 3 is its whole last section. That's going to be the Magic of Metals. And then Part 2. And within these, it's just like in the Encyclopedia of Herbs. They go one by one in alphabetical order. So let's look up rose quartz. And for those of you who don't know what rose quartz is, I'll give you a piece. I'll show you a piece. Well, here's a piece pieces of polished rose quartz. They're the pink ones. And there's clear quartz in there as well. And as you can see, they're not very dark pink. They're really not that dark. This is clear quartz and rose quartz mixed together. And that makes an elixir in my water. And then, there's my rose quartz. And yeah. I've got a few pieces to show you guys. I'm sorry, Alex, that's no buenos, boo. Okay, so here's a piece of pink tumbled rose quartz that's been polished, okay? I'm a big fan of raw stones. If it was up to me, all my stones would be raw. So here's some raw rose quartz. You can see it's just all kinds of shapes. And then here are some that I took apart when, you know, my rose quartz tiara that I had, for those of you who've been watching the channel for forever. It was like a big meditation tiara, and I took it apart, and now I have rose quartz beads of all these shapes and sizes. So that's rose quartz. And I just love this raw piece. It's so pretty. So let's read on that, shall we? I'm talking slow this morning because my stomach is off. I've been trying to drink water to make it feel better, but I haven't gotten it there yet. Okay. So rose quartz, I'm sure there's a picture of it in the book. Yep. So the chunk that they have that's raw is a little darker than mine was. But as you can see, that there's rose quartz. Hi Michelle, no, I didn't see you there. How are you? Alright, so rose quartz. Now let's look in the back of the book. Go all the way to the back to the glossary. Oh, and another good thing that I like to do in Scott Cunningham books is I get out a bunch of bookmarks beforehand. Because I know I'm going to need them, because I know rose quartz is probably going to pop up a few times. So I have some pre-cut bookmarks that I use when I'm doing, you know, this type of research. Smoky quartz is really great for, Tangerine's talking about smoky quartz. It's really great for grounding, anti-negativity. I make my anti-negativity oil with smoky quartz. Okay, so get your bookmarks out and go to the very back of the book, and we'll look up rose quartz. Elemental PQRS TUV. Rose quartz, page 49, 50, 91, and 178. 49, 50, 91, and 78. Is that what I said? Well, we know it's on 49 and 50. 49 and 50. And elemental PQRS rose quartz TUV. Come on, rose quartz. I just saw you. Where are you? There you are. 91 and 178. 91 and 178. 91, there you are. And 178. 178! And on page 178 is where we're going to get the big information about it. And I'll show you what I mean by that. I fib. That's not it. Where's the big information on it, Scotty? Okay. Well, we'll figure it out. All right. So on page 49, let's see what we find. It says that, oh, this is in the chapter where it's talking about stone tarot. Okay. So this would have actually been a really good thing to do for 24-hour Tarot-thon if I wasn't building my own deck for it. Maybe it's not too late to switch. No. And it tells you what stones go with what cards. Does anybody know? Or does anybody want to guess which of the 78 tarot cards that rose quartz goes with? Does anyone know? Does anyone want to guess? Let's guess. It's in one of the main cards, which are called, what are those main cards called? The court cards or something? It's in one of the main ones. Willow Witch got it! She guessed the Lovers. It's the Lovers, yeah. Which will make a lot of sense when we read more about this. Major Arcana. Thanks, Tangerine. Which will make a lot more sense when we read about it, because most of us know that rose quartz is amazing for the heart chakra, which is actually green. The heart chakra is green, but that's our 4th chakra. And it's really great for love, the heart, issues, dealing with that. Aiden, wait! Did you know that you're part of my tarot deck? And is that okay with you if I make, like, this awesome tarot card for you? I made a video that says, which card did everybody get? Make sure you watch that to find out what card you are. But yay, it's so good. I haven't seen you in so long. Thanks for stopping by on your lunch break. Alright, so we're reading out of this book here. Yeah, awesome, Aiden. When you get a chance, check that out, and we're going to make you an awesome No Kitty Cares card. Alright, so... And then it says it shows up on page 50, and so we'll get a little more into it, why it talks about the Lover's card being rose quartz. And the Lover's card in Scotty's book is the 6th card. I don't know if that's the way it is in real life, but anyway. It says 6, the Lovers, rose quartz. Love, sexuality, relationships, friendships, duality, polarity, symbiosis, balance, beauty, and family. And that is what the rose quartz represents, that is in conjunction with that Lover's card. Okay, so one more time. Rose quartz, the Lover's card. Love, sexuality, relationships, friendships, duality, polarity, symbiosis, balance, beauty, and family. Okay. Alright. So then it says it's showing up also, and then you can just take these bookmarks out as you go. It says on page 91, rose quartz. Basically, it doesn't say a ton about it, but it says a lot about quartz in general. So I want to explain that to you. If you were to pick a different stone, the fact that it's just got a subcategory under this whole crystal quartz. So why don't we read... Should we? No. I mean, you could, if you want to go about and read this whole section on quartz crystals, but it gives you subcategories. So let's just do that. And so it says rose quartz. The energy is receptive, okay, and is used to stimulate love and to open the heart chakra. Again, the 4th chakra up. It's right where this Om symbol is. I put that Om symbol over my heart chakra a long time ago for a reason. But that's where the heart chakra lies. So if you're able to get a rose quartz onto a pendant and hang it right there, you know, that's really going to help it tune and resonate and get that chakra going. Hey, Brenda, how are you? So nice to see you. Waving of hands. Alright, so the energy is receptive. It is used to stimulate love and to open the heart chakra. Why would we want to open the heart chakra? Well, you want all of your chakras spinning very fluidly and you know, at the same speed. But most of us, and I would say probably all of us, don't have that. It's really hard to have that perfect spinning wheels. But using things like stones and getting in touch with your emotions can help balance the heart chakra and open it up. Hey, Erica Townsend, how are you? I'm glad that you're here too. Also, hi to Ashley Boo, who I don't know if I've seen in the chat before. I love your hair, or is that a hood? Either way, it looks like a big pink wig. I love it. Alright, so rose quartz. Open the heart chakra. To attract love, wear a heart-shaped rose quartz. I would say even if you didn't have a heart-shaped rose quartz, just wear one right over that heart chakra area right here, and that would work probably better, if not just as well. Its magical applications include promoting peace, happiness, and fidelity in established relationships. So, using this I don't know, I just spaced out, you guys. To attract love, wear a heart-shaped rose quartz. Its magical applications include promoting peace, happiness, and fidelity in established relationships. Right, that's what I was going to say. Fidelity in established relationships. That's one that's really good for, like, love revival workings, etc. Also, I do have Smoky Quartz right here in front of me, and I saw you guys talking about Smoky Quartz in the chat. So since it's right here, I'll go ahead and give you that one as well. The Smoky Quartz, the energy is receptive, and it's another good mood elevator and is worn as a grounding stone. I told you it was good for grounding. It overcomes depression, told you it was good for anti-negativity, and other negative emotions. My memory was on point with the Smoky Quartz. That's actually pretty rare, y'all. Alright, so the last place Scotty said that we would find the rose quartz crystal in this book that is just not talked about by a lot of people. And I feel it should be talked about more. Hi, Bonnie Vlogs. How are you? Thanks for coming to the chat. Nice to see you here. And Madam Butterfly, hi. Oh, that's okay. I just thought I'd just attempt to give you a call. Alright, so rose quartz shows up under the Planetary Rulers, and it shows up under quartz is attached to the moon. Now, it doesn't say rose quartz in particular, it just says crystal quartz. The moon. These stones are suitable for use in rituals involving sleep, prophetic dreams, gardening, love, healing, the sea, the home, fertility, peace, compassion, and spirituality. Candle colors, white or silver. The moon. And here are all those that fell under there. Aquamarine. Beryl. B-E-R-Y-L. I don't know what that stone is. Crystal quartz, moonstone, mother of pearl, pearl, sapphire, selenite. One of our favorite stones. And since Tangerine's here, we should talk about selenite at some point. But not until we talk about iron. Because we said we was going to talk about iron. But here's my selenite tower. Boop. Boop. Alright. The other stone that's on here, I can't pronounce it. It's C-H-A-L-C-E-D-O-N-Y. Can't spell it either, apparently. Okay, time to take out my bookmarks and let's find iron and talk about it, because it was something that, thank you, yes, if you're enjoying this and like my channel, hit the bell. Hey, Candy Girl, how are you? I love you. Alright. Candy, I need to know, because I'm finishing up your card, do you spell Candy C-A-N-D-I-E or C-A-N-D-Y for your nickname, Candy? Or your name, Candy. Alright, so now we're going to the back of the book. We're looking up iron. Okay, looking up iron. And also, iron comes up in stick, stones, roots, and bones. Let's see if rose quartz doesn't come up in stick, stones, roots, and bones, because you know what? It might. Why not? Natural product of the earth, it should. A, B, C, D, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, rose quartz, where are you? Okay, it's not under rose. Let's see if it comes, if quartz is in here. A, B, C, D, L, M, N, O, P, quartz. Yep. So, 10, 13, 159, 161, 200, 205. But this is just quartz in general. We'll see if any of these Are rose quartz in particular? No. Alright, anyway, you could look for it in here because quartz comes up on quite a few pages in this book, but I feel like that would take a little bit away from the live stream, me looking up all that. Hey, Kimber Kiss, how are you, darling? There's your Kimber Kiss. And Vishal No Creations, hello. Iron. Iron is in here, though. We're going to read from this. Iron. So talk amongst yourself while I'm looking up iron in both of these books. And get the pages marked, but I'll try and talk out loud as I go. Iron. Iron. Irish moss. Iron. So iron, 14, 20, 46. See, this takes time. 14, 20, 46. 14. That was the page I was reading this morning. 14, 20. And usually I forget the pages I just said. Man. This is hard. I need many things, but alright, let's just start talking. Lead. No. Wait. Iron. Page 14 of Sticks, Stones, Roots, and Bones. That's where we're at. We're just going to read one section at a time, I guess. Hey, Nona Grace, how are you? I was just thinking about you last night for quite some time because I found a picture for your card. Iron. Black folks in the Americas have been cooking in seasoned cast iron pan skillets for hundreds of years. My family, who's a big bunch of German white folks, have also been cooking in cast iron pans for hundreds of years. I just wanted to say that, you know. Iron represents the Orisha Ogun, the warrior protector. Since iron is connected to Ogun, O-G-U-N, it carries some of his fiercely protective characteristics. Nails, rust, and metal filings. I have loads of metal filings because my mom is an iron worker. She cuts metal into shapes and silhouettes and signs and makes fences for people, and my dad taught her the trade when he couldn't do it anymore. Hey, Uncle Badger. Hi, I love my Danes. Hi, everybody. So glad you're here. So if anybody, needs little scraps of iron for their mojo bags, hit me up and we'll make you an Etsy order. So rust, nails, and metal filings are several ways that iron is utilized in hoodoo. Metal smithing was, and in some cases still is, a highly honored traditional craft in Africa. It was also revered in early African American culture. So that's just what it quickly says about iron in the introduction in this book here, Sticks, Stones, Roots, and Bones. Let's see if I can't find it again in the glossary and talk a little more about it. It shows up in many, many pages, though. Okay. Iron. I'll just write down the pages, and then this will make it easier. Jen, it is Candy with an IE. Okay, thanks, hon. I'm so disorganized, you guys, and I'm sorry. I do have on pants this morning, so that's a plus. If you get a flash of the behind, I apologize. I'll try and remember that I'm filming. Sometimes I forget. Alright. I do have taxidermy pants on, though. Taxidermy pants. Oh my god, this water is so good. I can't get over it. Well water. Okay, so let's write down the page numbers that we'll be searching. That way I can actually get to them for y'all. So we read page 14. Now we have page 20. Page 46. Page 96. I note these things down in my book of shadows. If I have iron, I'll write down in what page of all my books I found it. Because this shit right here takes some of the most time. Just looking for the pages, bookmarking the pages, get everything set up. Just to be honest, that's really where big chunk of my time goes when doing research before videos. But I'm not uploading videos anymore because then I can't hang out with my friends. It's different to me. So I'm really thankful that you guys are letting me do this and here with me, hanging, and we're all having a frickin' good time. So, page 14, page 20, page 46, page 96, page 103, page, and I bet not a lot of you thought to do that, but it's a time saver if you're gonna ever open up all your books again. Page 105, page 115, page 133 and 148, and that's it. So it shows up on all these pages on this book, and I'm just going to go ahead and pop that here in page 20, because that's the next page we go to. That way you can just go from page to page to page instead of going back to the index. I love when I think of brilliant ideas with you guys organically. Boom. So, putting a pause on this, and now we're going to look up iron in this book, which I know it comes up a lot in this book. Hi, Miss CC. Hi. Another epic chat. Alright, great. Thanks for saying so. And again, you guys, we're reading from these two books today. This underrated Scott Cunningham book and Stick, Stones, Roots, and Bones, because a lot of you got it. And as soon as we're done researching iron, we just researched rose quartz. When we're done researching iron, then we're going to talk about selenite, and then we'll just ask somebody who's randomly in here. Gotta get me some of those purple ball jars. Yeah, this is, it's a purplish blue. Kind of like a purplish blue. I just found it thrifting. I've never been able to find the ball jars in color that I can afford. Oh my gosh. I'd love to get those big amber glass ones that they have. And I love the teeny tiniest ball jars. Those are the best. Okay, guys. Let's see. Iron. So in this book, Scott Cunningham's Crystals, Encyclopedia of Crystals, Gems, and Metal Magic, let's look up iron, and I'll tell you all the page numbers it'll appear on. Elemental P, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, H, I. Iron. I-R-O-N. Okay, so page 151. Pages 158 through 61, and that's where we're going to have the bulk of our information on iron. We're going to get a lot of information from that, and I'll probably read that chunk, this book first, yeah. Page 162, and that's it. Okay, so we're going to read this book first, Stick, Stones, Roots, and Bones. Let me get some more water and have a couple puffs of smoke. Look at comments, see where we're at. You have tons of selenite. I had to do selenite because Tangerine Layla's here and she's our booper. Our boopercorn. Boopcorn. Woohoo, selenite, a psychic's best friend. And, you know, one of my favorite things about selenite, and a lot of people do know this about selenite, it's self-cleansing. It never needs to be cleansed. And also, if you've ever heard of the magical ingredient called moon dust is crushed up selenite into a powder. And also be careful with selenite, you guys, because it is sharp. Now, we're going to talk about iron. I have a cast iron pan under my bed, and it's holding lots of things. And throughout the reading, you'll probably find out why that is. So now I'm going to go through and mark the pages. 151. Oh, I needed to get water. That's what I was doing. Water. Too many things at once. My boopicorns. I just saw something back there. I did saw something back there. What was that? You guys want to hear a funny story about what happened to me yesterday morning? It's so funny. Do you guys want to hear the story about how I helped a little mouse that was still living? What here? Hey, I have some people to say hi to. Okay. Rachel, hi. I'm glad that you're here. Lady Moonflower 69, hi. Did I say hi to everybody? I did. Okay. So you do want to hear the story, Nona Grace says, because I almost forgot and I just almost went right back to iron. Okay, so Alex was in the kitchen and he's like, Jen! Oh my gosh, no! And he was yelling at Otis, and I'm like, what happened, you know? Because Otis does do things to get in trouble. Like, the yell for this one was probably justified. Now, we don't know. It was Otis. Who's Otis? That's Otis. My cat, right there. That's my kitty Otis, my familiar. He chose me. I didn't have a choice in the matter. Okay. So, he's like, there's a mouse in the kitchen, and I have to leave for my dentist appointment. The one he just went to, because they ended up canceling it. Okay. So, what happens? I'm like, okay, well, you just go to your appointment. I'll figure out the mouse thing, you know. Now, I think the cats brought it in. It wasn't injured, but I think the cats just, like, grabbed it with their mouth, brought it in, and wanted to play with it inside the house, because that's something that they do. They're cats. Whenever we see this happen, we always put the mouse outside. We don't just let them do it if we can help it. If they're being cruel to some, you know, we don't let that normally happen. But it normally happens at night when we're asleep, or in the day when we're asleep. So there was this uninjured mouse, and it had crawled underneath our refrigerator. And we're like, well, shoot, it's never going to leave out from there, because there's tons of snacks under there, like little pieces of food and whatever falls under the fridge, and you don't get to it because you only pull it out once every 6 months to clean back there, right? So, Butterfly Magic with Hot Tea, I'm in love with your card. I made it yesterday. I'm absolutely in love with it. Okay, so anyway. Alex comes back in and he goes, because I was like trying to figure out how am I going to get this mouse out of here on my own. So, basically, I remembered this time, a long time ago, when I had to get a mouse out of the house, and I used a broom to kind of like guide it and get it into this bowl, which Lily's dad ended up catching, and he had a mouse running around in a bowl, and I'm like, get it outside! So I've already done this in the past, like gotten a mouse out of the house. I had full confidence I could do this job. When it was under the fridge and I was alone and I was thinking, how the hell am I going to do this by myself? I've only ever done it before with another person. Yeah, Butterfly Magic, you should definitely watch that video that says, everybody please watch this video. Like, people don't even know they have cards, and yeah. Alright. If you guys see the video that says, everyone please watch that video. It's important. Okay. Not to shame anyone, but yes, I've been talking about this over and over and over. Alright. The mouse. So, Alex comes back in. And I'm like, okay, you get a broom and I get a broom, and we're just going to kind of guide it out. You stand behind. So we got the mouse to come out by slowly pulling out the fridge, and then it ran, you know. And then I go, okay, stop. So it goes in the corner, like back by the dehydrator, which is cool because it's right by the front door, but it's behind the door. So I'm like, shit, how am I going to get this out the door? Well, we almost shut the door, which left like a crack big enough for just a mouse to get through, and we just kind of took the broom and he just guided right outside. But you know, that was just a story that I wanted to share, and I'm glad that I did. But if you guys ever need to get a mouse out of the house, just kind of use a broom, and remember, it's so sad because his little heart, you could see how hard it was pounding because he went outside and he was just like, you know. So, anyway, but I'm sure it was better than death by cats, you know, death by 5 cats. And, yeah, I saved the little guy, I sure did. Okay, yes, so, I have 78 people I chose for cards, and these are people that have supported me throughout my last 10 months that I've been on YouTube, people who've been there from the start, people I've just met recently. Nona Grace, I believe you might have a card. I can't remember exactly everybody who I chose because there's so many cards, 78 people. But everybody watch that video that says, everyone please watch this video. It's important. Alright. So we're going to go to page 151 and read about iron in this book, okay? So that's where we're headed. And the big bulk of the information is going to be on 158 through 161 and then page 162. But we'll get all that reading done. And again, this is just one of my very favorite books. It's underrated. Not a lot of people talk about this Scott Cunningham book, and it's great. This is the old cover. It's got a new cover these days. Alright, so page 151, we're talking about iron. Alright, so iron comes up in under planetary metals. Does anybody want to guess the planet that iron is associated with? Does anyone want to hazard a guess? The sun is gold. The moon is silver. Mercury is mercury, or quicksilver, and electrum. Venus is copper. Jupiter is tin. Saturn is lead, and that leaves one planet left. Ding, ding, ding! Both of you who guessed got it right. Mars! Mars! So Mama Hennessy and Tangerine, A, thank you for participating, and B, good job, well done. Alright, now we're on to page 158. These are the pages it appears on the book, y'all, if you want to note that in your Book of Shadows, or your grimoire. If you asked me the difference between the two, I couldn't tell it to you. Alright, so on page 158, it starts this bulk of content, which is, it's laid out just like Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, alphabetically, and then like that. Mars was prevalent in your dinner herbs. Yeah, exactly! That was going to be the clue that I was going to give, but I decided not to. Thomas, you and I are thinking alike. Yeah, Mars was... Onion was Mars, radish was Mars, and was coriander Mars too? I can't remember the last one, but I was so surprised they were all protective and they were all Mars. Really awesome. Alright, so iron. We're going to read what Scotty has to say on iron, and I think you guys are just going to be so pleased. We do have great minds. I want to ask this also. Does anybody else out there have this book? And I want you guys to say if you have this book. Please just tell me, a thumbs up or a yes in the comments if you do. Okay, so the energy. Let's guess the energy. What do you think the energy of iron is? We know the planet is Mars. Let's guess the energy, though. What magical energy do we guess that iron has? We know that it's very hard and very strong metal. It's not a soft metal like gold and silver where you can even bend those with your fingers. No, iron is very, very strong metal. And yes, coriander. Thank you, Thomas. So, energy. Anyone want to guess the energy for this one? You got to get moving? Okay, Michelle Knoll, we'll see you soon. Protection and strength, Rachel guessed. And the energy is protective. Very good, Rachel. Tangerine said iron is used to forge. Iron is used to forge, so power. The energy is protective. The element. Does anyone want to guess the element? Out of the 4 or 5 elements, what element do we think that iron is? I like to guess because when we're right, we improve our confidence in our intuition. Okay? When we guess and we're right, it improves our confidence and intuition. I knew what you meant, Tangerine. So Charlie, Hannah, hi, welcome, guesses earth, and then Rachel guesses earth or fire. It is indeed fire, and let me tell you why it resonates with me so much is because, like I said, my mom and my dad was a welder for years, and iron is such a dense metal that, you have to use this special form of fire to cut through it. And welding is beautiful, a beautiful, beautiful art that my parents are just so gifted to have. We come from a family of creatives, of artists. My brother Daryl is a painter. My brother, I'm not supposed to say names, sorry Daryl. My other brother is an amazing guitar player and singer, and has been in a band his whole life. And my mom and dad have the welding for their art, and you guys know what I do for mine. My brother Daryl, and my other brother Daryl, and my other brother Daryl. Yeah. Yeah, so 14. You have this book, Thin So, that's awesome. Nello, you better get it. It's so awesome. All right, so the associated, and the deity of iron, is Selene. I thought it said Selenite, but Selene, Selene. The associated stones to iron is quartz crystal and holy stones. So, holy stones. And we're talking about rose quartz, but let me show you a clear quartz. Ooh, look. I forgot to show you my favorite piece of rose quartz, my big wand. This is an internal wand for, like, bonding with yourself. This is a crystal quartz point, clear quartz crystal point. And I have lots of those, and I love how they're raw on the bottom. These are great to put on top of your tarot cards and then set in the moonlight of your window to draw down that energy. But the crystal or the clear quartz is like the all-purpose stone. But this is an association to iron, the holy stone, and the crystal quartz crystal. Guess I could show y'all a big chunk I found when I was in the woods foraging. I'm pretty sure this is iron, but I'm not sure, and I found it when we were just walking on the railroad tracks because we heard a little girl scream in the woods, and I was like completely freaked out. So I grabbed this and put it in my hand and started walking and looking for that little girl. But what I ended up doing, because I was with my daughter, is I yelled and I said, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" And then she was laughing and yelled back, "No, we're just playing." And I'm like, okay. But I was gonna, like, save this little girl who was screaming. I didn't know what the hell to do, you know. It was the middle of the woods and some girl screaming. It's like, Luna's Muse, hi, how are you? I Love My Dane says, I put quartz on top of your money oil in the moonlight. That's a great thing to do. Great thing to do. Holy big stones back, man. Yeah, you're funny, Tangerine. Okay, so the associated metals to iron. Oh, I have one more piece of rose quartz to show you guys. This was a gift from a friend, and it's a sphere. You don't want to mistake that for a marble. Alright. What's everybody's name? Hey, darling. To you, too. Okay, so the associated metals are the lodestone. Okay, the lodestone. And remember, that is the one that has, it's got lead in the stone, I do believe. Lodestone and meteorite are the associated stones. Yes, thanks, I Love My Danes. I love those little rose quartzes up there. And it's a fairly inexpensive stone, and it's probably one of the most common stones to find out there is, you know, quartz and rose quartz. Okay, so talking about iron. The powers, so the magical powers of iron are protection, defensive magic, strength, healing, grounding, and return of stolen goods. Okay? So one more time. The powers of iron are protection, defensive magic. We need to do a whole series on defensive magic. It's so important to do, especially if you have a YouTube channel. You know, some days when I don't come on, it's because somebody's working on me, and it's not a positive one, and they're dragging my energy out. Hey, Wiccan Mohan! So nice to see you. Are you the King of Pentacles? Am I starting to remember people's cards? Oh my goodness. And thank you for giving me information about you. Massachusetts, the witchy state. Iron above the door, y'all. Yeah. And you could do that in the form of a horse's shoe. We talked about all the horseshoe lore in the horse video. So horses and witchcraft, look that video up. You're going to find a lot about horseshoes. Okay, so powers, protection, defensive magic, strength, healing, grounding, return of stolen goods. Now, the magical uses and ritual lore. Let's read about that. And we're talking about iron in one of Scotty's least talked about books that I know of. Oh, thanks, Luna's Muse. I just cleaned up my oddities when I got back from vacation. I appreciate that. Rachel, yes. Yes, that is true. And I can just tell because I just usually know. That's why I don't tell anybody what time I go to sleep. I don't always sleep during the night. I sleep during the day. I'm awake at certain hours of the day because people have been trying to get to me through my sleep. So it's really important to do defensive magic, especially if you have a YouTube channel. That's what I have to say. Okay, so magical and ritual lore. Because iron is seldom found in pure form, except in meteorites, the earliest iron available for use by humans was obtained from these strange essential objects. I didn't know that. Did any of you know that that's how we first harvested iron? Meteorites, which were observed falling from the heavens, were used to make simple tools, supplementing bone and stone implements by earlier humans. Throughout most of the world, humans eventually learned how to remove iron from its ore, which made it available for wider use. Once this occurred, it was soon limited to purely physical applications and was restricted in magic and religion. In ancient Greece, for example, no iron was brought into the temples. Roman priests could not be shaved or scraped with iron during bodily cleansing. Ireland, Scotland, Finland, China, Korea, India, and other countries have severe taboos against iron. Wow, that's really interesting. Lapis lazuli is great. Yeah, absolutely, Tanj. Tanj knows loads about stones. Loads about stones. And so does Linnea, because Linnea, I do believe, went to school for stones, didn't you, hun? I know! Let's read about these iron taboos. I'm really excited. Hey, thanks for the book recommendation. I appreciate that, Luna's Muse. Okay, so we're going to talk about these taboos. These severe taboos from Ireland, Scotland, Finland, China, Korea, India, and other countries. Again and again in ancient rituals, fire was made without iron, altars built without its use, and magical rituals performed only after devastating the body of all traces of the metal. Herbs were usually collected with non-iron knives, owing to the belief that the vibrations of this metal would jam or confuse the herb's energies. Okay, this is interesting stuff. Really interesting. Crystal Bible Belt, you guys are hilarious. The Hindus once believed that the use of iron in buildings would spread epidemics, and even to this day, a gift of iron in any form is thought by some to be unlucky. That's crazy. Then that means that, what my mom does, her artistic abilities, her what she does for her art, if it's a gift, then, some people, even to this day, believe it to be taboo. However, iron did have its place in magic. Specifically, it was worn or used in protective rituals. Its powerful protective vibrations were thought to be feared by demons, ghosts, the Fae, Genii, Genii, and other fantastic creatures. In China, dragons were thought to fear iron. When rain was needed, pieces of the metal were thrown into dragon pools to upset the creatures and send them into the sky, send them in the form of rain clouds. In Old Scotland, iron was used to avert danger when a death had occurred in the house. Iron nails. I think I have a big old iron nail. This was a gift. Somebody sent this and donated it to the channel. It's one of my favorite things. It's big. Look how big it is. It's heavy as well. So let's, if the person who donated that to the channel is here, please say so. Oh, thanks, Nona Grace. She says Jen is good at sharing. I'm always learning so many things. Railroad spikes, that's what that is. I miss my metal detector days. My dad has a metal detector. It's so fun to use. Kids love using them, and you can find amazing things. That's such a cool way to spend your time, looking for things that have been buried naturally on the Earth's surface for years, and just like treasures that are forgotten about. One day we'll do some metal detecting together. It's so fun. You have like 4 or 5 of those spikes. What do you do with them, Wiccan? I would love to hear what you guys do with your railroad spikes, or how you guys add iron. Okay. So now we're talking about... In Old Scotland, iron was used to avert danger when a death had occurred in the house. Iron nails or knitting needles were thrust into every item of food, cheese, grain, meat, and so on, to act as a lightning rod, attracting the confusing vibrations that death may rouse within the living, and thus sparing the food of possible contamination. Well, and remember, in Scotland, their lore, their rituals, that, you know, not even witches, just in general, their folklore is like word. It's like word, you know, it is the way they go by it. They're very, from what I can tell from my reading, very superstitious people. Oh, okay, right. If you guys need me to see something, use caps. Lunchbox says, how do these qualities of iron interact when using iron shavings to feed a lodestone? Maybe we'll find that in the information. If anybody wants to answer that question for Lunchbox, go ahead. I don't know the answer to that, Lunchbox, and I'm always honest. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you. But if I find it within my research, I sure will let you guys know. Alright, so we're continuing our reading here. Thank you for the question, Lunchbox. I appreciate it. I just don't know the answer to it. Used for drawing, Madam Butterfly says. So hopefully that will help you, Lunchbox. Okay, so in Old Scotland, right, we talked about that. Classical Romans drove nails into their house walls to preserve their health, especially during times of plague. So just putting, you know, iron nails into your wall can help with that. Because of its protective effects, iron was sometimes thought, conversely, to be sacred, and thieves in ancient Ireland wouldn't dare to steal it. The magical uses. So that was all the lore. I love lore. It's one of my favorite things, especially old wives lore. Witchy Suzy Q, thanks for joining us. It was so nice to see you. See you super soon. Magical uses. Iron. Pure protective power. And you can just have, you know, if you're taking notes, this needs to be in big bold. Iron, pure protective power, active, seeking, blinding, confusing, and guarding. Okay? These are the different magical uses. Pure protective power, active, seeking, blinding, confusing, guarding. For heavy protection, place small pieces of iron, and that's probably what Lunchbox was talking about, just kind of like shavings that you have from what I would find in my mom's art studio. And these little bits that fall off. For heavy protection, place small pieces of iron in each room of the house, or bury at the 4 corners of your property. It's a really good, simple, easy one. And again, if you guys want a bag of iron shavings, All you gotta do is let me know, and we'll make an Etsy order for it, because we've got that. I've got tons to share. B says, children's are made of iron for the reason. Easy to remember this way. Oh, cauldron. Okay, gotcha. Okay. During protective or defensive magic, wear an iron ring engraved with the symbol of Mars. And remember, we learned that that is the planet that it's connected to. The symbol of Mars is a circle with an arrow coming out of it. It's a circle with a little arrow that goes up into the side. Or obtain a 3-inch thick white candle and 8 old iron nails. Warm the nails by a fire or in a red candle's flame. Then thrust each into the white candle in a random pattern. Light the nail-studded candle and visualize yourself as guarded, protected, and secure. That is an excellent, simple working, Scotty. Thank you for that. And I just love how he's getting them in the red candle's flame, randomly into the white candle, and you're just visualizing this protection. Visualizing, you guys, and you can really up your visualizations by being, doing loads of meditation or a little bit every day. All right. Wearing iron or carrying a small piece. Oh, wait. Yeah. Wearing iron or carrying a small piece of this metal enhances physical strength and is an excellent talisman for athletes. Iron is also used during healing rituals. A small piece is placed beneath the pillow at night. It was originally done to scare away the demons that had caused the dis-ease, but can be thought of as strengthening the body's ability to heal itself. Iron rings or bracelets are worn to draw out the illnesses from the body. This dates back to the last ancient Roman times. A curious ritual from Germany to cure a toothache. Pour oil into a piece of heated iron, like a cast iron pan. The fumes which rise from the iron will act on the problem. So cool. So easy, so simple. Who doesn't have a cast iron pan? Okay, we'll go to Goodwill and get one. It's going to cost you $10 or $15 because iron by weight costs a little bit of money. Okay, and Wiccan says you also use the spikes to make war water. That's fantastic. Hey, Justin, how are you? Welcome. Wiccan says, what else does he do with his spikes? Let me find out real quick, y'all, because I asked a question and I need the answer now. You use them to protect the surrounding of the house. Right, and that's what we're kind of just reading about. So you can either use spikes or you can use shavings that are just things that other people would sweep up and either remelt or throw away, what have you. Hey, Justin, you're okay with your tower card, right? All right, so in Old Scotland, healing stones, quartz crystals, or holy stones, we were talking about that earlier, how these were the associated stones, this and quartz. Quartz and holy stones are the associated stones for iron. I know, I wish we could share photos in the chat. Maybe one day YouTube will get on it, huh? Yes, and you guys, I'm not a big fan of shots, like immunizations or whatever, but it is important that if you're going to be foraging metals and such that are sharp and that might have rust, that, like tetanus is very serious business. You don't want to get tetanus. It's, from what I understand, very painful and deadly. Be careful foraging iron, you guys. Be careful. Or any metals. Thanks for saying that, Butterfly Magic with Hot Tea. I appreciate it. Okay, so iron, in Old Scotland, healing stones, quartz crystals, or holy stones were kept in iron boxes to guard against supernatural creatures who might steal them. Have you ever found any of your holy stones or quartz crystals missing, it may have been because a supernatural creature took it. And I'm not being funny, because Scotty said it, and I believe what he's saying. Iron is also worn for grounding, for closing down the psychic centers, and for impeding the flow of energy from the body. This, of course, isn't the best during magical ritual, but is fine when the subject is under psychic or emotional attack, is physically depleted, or if they wish to focus on physical matters. Iron horseshoes and the nails that attach them to the hooves are ancient magical tools. Oh, I bet the nails that attached it to the hooves are certainly ancient magical tools. They're pounded right into the keratin, or the nail of the horse, as far as I understand. You know, I don't know for sure, but I don't have any horseshoes. If anybody has an abundance of them, please let me know and let's do a trade or something. Or, you know, if you have a horse ranch, you're more than welcome to donate some to the channel. But I really want horseshoes for some workings in my new house, especially. You have tons of them, I love my Danes. Well, let's work out some sort of trade. Yeah. Alright, so iron horseshoes and nails that attach them to the hooves are ancient magical tools. They might have first been used in ancient Greece, where they were called Seluna, S-E-L-U-N-A, and we know Luna means moon, right? And were associated with the moon and the goddess Selene. I'm so smart. I'm kidding. A horseshoe hung in the home over the front door confers protection. While theories differ as to the proper way to hang the horseshoe, I always place it points up. Ideally, it is to be nailed with 3 of its original nails. Now, I want to tell you guys this. My friend Tess, one of my closest girlfriends who we met from my channel, she asked me the other day via Skype, hey, how can you tell me all you know, or something like that, about horseshoes in witchcraft? And I said, hey, yeah, I remember. It actually depends on the first time you glanced at that horseshoe, the first time you ever saw it, whether it was a picture online or whether it was you found it on the ground or in a retail store or a magical shop. It depends on the way you first saw the horseshoe pointing, the direction. Was it upside down? Was it pointing to the left or the right, east or the west? So in my video that I titled Horses and Witchcraft, because I like to do videos on herbs, on animals, on metals, we talked all about that. So if you ever want to know the exact right way to do the horseshoe, it depends on how you first saw it. So if you want to know that, we talked all about it in the Horses and Witchcraft video. Alright, now we're talking about a horseshoe hung in the home over the... Okay, we did that. An old iron horseshoe nail is sometimes bent into a ring, like for your finger, if you can find one long enough, and is worn for luck and for healing. The best way to clean a horseshoe, if it was me, I would just use one of my magical cloths, maybe my my monk cloth or something. Any spiritual cloth, I would use it, probably use that. B. Young says Brillo, you know, so that's what B. Young says. And that's totally fine. However you think you should be doing it. But for me, I use just a magical piece of cloth that I've, you know, talked about and mentioned. What about soaking it in Coca-Cola? Oh boy. I mean, Coca-Cola kind of eats through anything. It would probably work. I wouldn't, it's not something that I would do, because I would want all of the dirt still stuck to it. I would want all of that, because I feel like it would have a lot of energy attached to it. So for me, I would keep it dirty. Alright, so now we're going to talk about, if you have had something stolen from you and you have a fireplace handy, try this spell. Take a horseshoe nail that you found by chance, drive this into the fireplace, visualizing the stolen object returning to your home. It's done. There are still magicians and Wiccans who remove all traces of iron from their bodies before working magic, but this custom is fading into oblivion. I have something to tell you guys. Iron is the base of people's blood who have a positive blood type. Okay, if you're O positive, if you're A positive, B positive, or AB positive, you have iron for the base of your blood. So wearing iron can really help with menstrual cramps if you are a positive blood type. It can help with pain. It can help healing, dis-ease, etc. If you have an Rh negative factor to your blood and you have O negative blood, A negative blood, B negative blood, or AB negative blood, your base of your blood is copper. Now, this is why it is so much easier for people that have negative blood types. Their magical abilities come easier to them. And I'm not segregating you can be a better magician because of your blood type. No, it's just easier. You're clairvoyant, you're clairaudient, you're clairsentient. All your clairs will be easier to attune to. So, and they'll just come more naturally. All of these gifts come more naturally to people that have a copper blood type base. Why is that? I've done a whole video on it. Copper and Rh negative blood. I took away the comments from that video because I had so many negative comments. It's a controversial topic. But I just wanted to say that. It didn't mention it in Scotty's book, so I had to add it in. Now we're going to talk about iron from this book, and it came up loads of times in this book. So it's going to take me a little bit to mark all the pages. If you guys have something that you want me to read, and you really need me to read it, put it in all caps. Put your comment or question in all caps. I'll keep the horse's shoe how it is. Nice. Yeah. That's just for me, like how I would like all the dirts and dusts on it, you know. But I understand that it's probably nicer to clean it off. There are so many cool theories on Rh negative blood types. Yeah, I agree, Luna's Muse. I agree. Okay, so if you have, damn it, Jennifer. If you have your Grimoire Book of Shadows out, I'm going to rename all the pages that iron falls on in this book. Sticks, Stones, Roots, and Bones, because it's going to come up in here as well. Okay. Madam Butterfly says in caps, I read it's not hereditary, though, and you don't believe? That what's not hereditary? Magic? Here's a crazy thing. And I don't understand how this works. Now, we know because we've talked about it loads of times. A positive and a negative person can't make a baby without a Rogam shot. Okay? If you have many, many miscarriages, this could be why. And a lot of people don't know their blood type. Why would you know it? I believe this is why they used to require a blood test before you got married. I have a lot of reasons to believe it. But anyway, this is crazy. If the mother and father are both a positive blood type, they can make a negative baby. How is that? It leads me to believe that it's based on the soul of the person, how the blood turns out, not the two parents. I really am baffled about that scientific anomaly. How does that happen? If, like, for instance, I have a friend, her parents have A positive and O positive blood, but she's Rh negative, you know, like O or something like that. I just think it's more of like, I think souls are placed in bellies, I think it's a soul thing, not a scientific thing. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, now we read page 14 of Sticks, Stones, Roots, and Bones. We read that. Now page 20, page 46, page 96, page 103, 105, 115, 133, and 148. I feel like every time we talk about blood types, somebody's feelings get hurt. So I have to say straight away, I do not think that people are any better or any worse at things because they have a certain type of blood. I think that anybody can do anything. But I'm just saying these abilities tend to come very, very, very more easy than to the others. Okay. And we're done talking about blood types. Ugh, too hot. Too hot. So we're going to mark these pages together. And then I'm going to read. How are you guys liking this book so far? It's just one of my absolute favorites by Scotty, and it's just not talked about enough. Freshwater Fairy, how are you? Nice to see you. Almost all redheads that I've ever come across that know their blood type are Rh negative. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Oh, there's some amazing lore about redheads too, about like where their blood type comes from, and oh, at some point I'd really like to read that stuff to you guys, but again, it really starts to hurt people's feelings, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings ever. Ever. So, on page 14 we read about iron, and we were reading, we'll just reread it. Black folks in America have been cooking in seasoned cast iron skillets for hundreds of years. Iron represents the Orisha Ogun, the warrior protector. Since iron is connected to Ogun, it carries some of his fiercely protective characteristics. Nails, rust, and metal filings are several ways that iron is utilized in hoodoo. Metal smithing was, and in some cases still is, a highly honored traditional craft in Africa. It was also revered by early African American culture. Now, someone, Lunchbox was asking about Lodestones. Lunchbox, are you still here? Either way, I'm going to read this little bit here that appears on page 14. Lodestone is central to love, luck, and prosperity work. It is a stone made from magnetite. Similarly, fool's gold or pyrite chips are used for drawing magic, mojo, spiritual baths, and on altars. So if you don't have the lodestone, you can also use pyrite as a fill-in stone for that. Freshwater puts a lunchbox. Cool. And I hope that helped a little bit. And did you guys know that quicksilver is another word for mercury? It's very, very amazing in magical workings, but it's extremely toxic, so she won't even talk about it in this book, and I think that's a great idea. Freshwater Fairy says she's going to post her first YouTube video today. Everybody, go to Freshwater, hug her channel, ring her bell, and get excited because she's one of my favorite friends, and I cannot wait to see the content that she puts out. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Everybody needs to go hug and ring that bell for Freshwater Fairies. Excellent, thank you. Kimber Kiss says you wish you're ambidextrous. Ooh, yeah. Yes, I'm so excited, Freshwater. That's fantastic. Uncle Badger, you're trailing. When's your channel going to start? We're all so excited. Okay, great. And share her on your socials, too, and just say, get ready for this brand new witchcraft channel. We're all so excited. Yay! And Brenda just said she's number 13. I love when I'm like a number that I enjoy. I'm that number of subscribers. So awesome. Thank you guys all so much. Okay. So now we're on to page 20 where it says it's going to talk about iron, but I don't see it. I don't see it here. Oh, it's just talking about cast iron pans. Stainless steel pans with heavy bottoms distribute heat evenly. Most importantly, stainless steel. I don't see where it's talking about iron. We're going to skip that page. So page 46. But if y'all have this book and you find it, or Joyce Jordan if you see it in your book when you watch this video later, Put it in the comments if you found it on page 20. Alright, so page 46, and we're talking about iron. Yeah. Let me just find, like, the main page where it gives its characteristics. But I have noted to you guys the places it's fallen. Okay, so page 96, it's talking about fire in chapter 5. And I assume that we're going to talk about... Remember, fire was the element of iron? So perhaps it's going to come up in that fashion. Not really seeing it, y'all. Let's go to the next one, page 103. In Scotty's book, it was much easier to decipher where things were. I think that's why I like his book so much. Yeah, no idea where it is on these pages. I'm looking for, you know, the whole topic to be about it. Ogun. Okay, we read in Scotty's book. No, in the beginning of this book, that Ogun was the god, the Orisha associated to iron. Now let's read about Ogun, Orisha of the warriors. It says Vev for Ogun with the raspberry plant. Okay. And we're in Sticks, Stones, Roots, and Bones by Stephanie Rose Bird. Amazing author. I really, really, really love her. Okay, Ogun, Orisha of Warriors. The Yoruban, brother of the Greek god to Mars, is Ogun. The two fire gods share various correspondences. Ogun is the warrior Orisha, and not only is he associated with fire, he is also associated with metal as the god of iron. Linked with metalsmithing, Ogun holds a lofty position among the Orisha of the Ifa, Lukumi, and Santeria paths. Hoodoo warriors can benefit from the invocation of Ogun. For like hoodoo itself, metallurgy and metalsmithing are dangerous and unpredictable. The Mand people, M-A-N-D-E, Mand people. Here it doesn't see. Welcome. The Mand people in Africa see blacksmiths and spirits as being practically colleagues. The Mand credit blacksmiths with knowledge of healing, initiation, and sorcery. I should tell my mother this, and my father. They're both metalsmiths. Blacksmiths are intermediaries between the wild natural life and civil society. As manipulators of nature through their craft, blacksmiths shape the wild nature into a useful form for the people. Tools of the hoodoo warrior incorporate iron and metal. Thus, they are imbued with the power of Ogun and the alchemy of the metalsmith. In the olden days, anvil dust was used for tricks and jobs. A-N-V-I-L. I don't know what anvil dust is. If anybody wants to look that up and put it in the comments, I would be greatly appreciative. Hi from the dark pool. Nice to see... Oh, no, she's not here. Wait. Are you here, Dark Pool? Dark Pool, if you're here, hello. Hi, your decency. Mama Hennessy. Alright, tools of the hoodoo warrior incorporate iron and metal, and thus they are imbued with the power of Ogun and the alchemy of metalsmithing. In the olden days, anvil dust, I don't know what that is, if somebody wants to look it up, that would be amazing, was used for tricks and jobs. Today, iron filings, magnetic sand, pyrite, rusted nails, ordinary nails, and various significant rites, and coffin nails are still used by hoodoos. I don't have any coffin nails. If anybody wants to donate any to the channel, that would be lovely. Kimberka says, I think an anvil is one of those heavy things cartoons would violently drop on each other. Really? Or are you teasing? Anvil dust feeds the lodestone. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate that. Hey, Ricky! Smithing was considered magic by the Norse and Germanic peoples. Yes, Thomas, that's right. There's... Okay. At least that's what your... uses. Okay, great. Alright, here we go. Ogun's number is 3. I love the number 3. His colors are green and black. Images of warriors and hunters and their implements, such as swords, knives, and arrows, are associated with him. Iron or metal objects, including the prominent use of nails, corresponds with Ogun. He enjoys rum. He enjoys rum or pineapple offerings. Sounds like he needs a pina colada. I don't know, but it sounds like Ogun would love a pina colada. If you like pina coladas. He enjoys rum or pineapple offerings, and his corresponding ewe herbs include parsley, hawthorn, and alfalfa. So Ogun, parsley, hawthorn, alfalfa, pineapple, rum. Spiritual baths in his honor should include eucalyptus and tobacco. Garlic is an important Ogun medicine. Ogun's medicine is contained in the traditional hoodoo formula 4 thieves vinegar. 4 thieves vinegar is used in protective magic by hoodoos, their families, and their clients who feel susceptible to tricks and jobs. And then it gives a recipe for 4 thieves vinegar, which is 16 ounces of apple cider vinegar or distilled white vinegar and 4 garlic cloves. So, does have the 4 thieves vinegar recipe in there. Alright, now we are on to page 115. Let's see where we're at. Hey, Brandy Johnson, how are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. I love you. Oh, Seinfeld is a show I've never really watched. Hold on. From the Dark Pool. Anvil dust would be awesome, and it's the tiny dust-sized pieces of metal that fall off while shaping and filing metal. Oh, well then I actually have loads of that at Peggy's house. We have dust, we have chunks, we have, you know, all the like little bits of cutouts in all different shapes and stuff. Yeah. Excellent. Hey, Brandy Johnson, make sure that you hug Freshwater Fairies channel because she is just putting out her first video today and we're all really super excited about it. So everybody that's not yet hugged Freshwater Fairies channel, go do that. Hug and ring that bell. So on page 115 it's supposed to be popping up. Let's see. Oh, okay. We're going to talk about another Orisha. And we're talking about Elgba. E-L-E-G-B-A. Elgba. Elgba, also known as Eshu Elgba. E-S-H-U-E-L-E-G-B-A. Is the Orisha of gateways, woods, and crossroads. Most cemeteries have an impressive iron gateway that guards it. It is here that you leave your offering to the gatekeeper Elgba. So Elgba is the gatekeeper of the cemetery. That's where you pour out your libations. You leave an offering of money and a libation. Like, honestly, if you go to the graveyard without booze, Elgba is not going to be too excited about it. Also loves tobacco, this one. And if you want to... I've done a bunch of videos on hoodoo in the graveyard. I've done readings about hoodoo in the graveyard. by Star Casas out of her book, Old Style Conjure, Hoodoo, Rootwork, and Folk Magic. I read that whole book on my channel from start to finish, chapter by chapter. So, just don't go to the cemetery without booze, because Elgba needs it. That's my opinion. Most cemeteries have an impressive iron gateway that guards it. Cemeteries are also practically wooded. For more on trees and cemeteries, see chapter 14. Many cemeteries take up a large amount of space, and they are not, and they are at or near a crossroads. Pay homage to Elgba along with Oya and Shango when you collect or use your graveyard dirt, or make or use powders containing it. So this book in here right now is suggesting that not only do we pour out a libation, give offerings and thanks, and ask for Elga's protection watching our back while we're in the graveyard or the cemetery. There's a difference between the two. Does anybody on the channel know the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery? I've talked about it a lot, and most people don't know, so I want to hear somebody talk about it in the comments if they know the difference. I do have graveyard kits in my Etsy. I do, but I don't collect graveyard dirt for anybody. That's why I make the kits. If you do use graveyard dirt, my opinion is you should be collecting it yourself. But that's just my opinion. I don't think it's wrong to sell. Okay, Tangerine Layla says, yes, one is from a church. And that is correct. So a graveyard is different from a cemetery, because a graveyard has to also have it's a graveyard that's like a cemetery that's attached and on the same property as a little church. And when I went to my cousin's wedding, there was an actual graveyard right by the little tiny chapel that they got married. So that makes it a graveyard. A cemetery is one that doesn't have any kind of church or steeple on it. Okay, that's the difference. And in my opinion, cemetery dirt and graveyard dirt work the same, because I have both and they're different. But I feel the energies are pretty much similar. But I'd love to know if you guys feel different energies on. Okay, so Elgba, the gatekeeper. And now we're on to page 133 in Stick, Stones, Roots, and Bones, and it looks like I don't see it there. Okay, so page 148, that's the last place in this book that apparently it's going to be talking about iron. Yay! It's talking about DNA. Maybe it's here talking about DNA. No, that's the wrong page. History and Traditions of Hoodoo Love Magic. Okay, it's talking about Lodestones. Now you may be wondering, what is the history of this type of draw-in magic? Bringing things in, draw-in magic. Hoodoos use drawing magic for a variety of practical needs, primarily love, luck, and prosperity. The lodestones used in this type of magic are magnetic stones made from magnetite. The use of lodestone is traced back to European alchemist Albertus Magnus, who lived in the 13th century. Alchemists at this time sought to turn ordinary ingredients into extraordinary valuable materials like gold, creating elaborate formulas and recipes in the process. Albertus Magnus wrote during the Middle Ages, but his work or the works attributed to him remain in circulation to this day. The works of Magnus gripped the African American community from the earliest days of hoodoo and continue to be widely read by black magical community. Two works by Magnus still in commercial distribution are Egyptian Secrets and White and Black Art for Man and Beast, revealing the forbidden knowledge. Okay, where's it gonna... Oh, we're almost there. Like, when is it gonna be talking about iron? Many of the magical attributes ascribed to Lodestone are still respected. It is useful to consider when delving into the Magnus text that they were a small part of the proper literature of the day. The first printings of the book were 1559 and then in 1637. Magnus or Lodestone, magnetite, magnetic iron oxide. Magnetite, magnetic iron oxide, was described in 1600 by William Gilbert as being in the act of coitus, sex, and this terminology is deeply embedded in the magical uses of the stone by hoodoos. A male stone and a female stone are so attracted to each other they seem to be constantly locked together in a state of climatic intercourse. A hoodoo seeks to capitalize off their draw to one another in a mojo bag. It is believed that the matched pair... Yeah, I want a pair of Lodestones really bad. I don't have a pair yet. That'd be a great birthday gift. You guys are talking about some funny stuff. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Selenite! Love, light, and Selenite. Tangerine's still here, so we're going to boop a corn and talk about Selenite. I have something to tell you. This stone has these very, very small little kind of shards within it. I need to clean my nails. Shards within it, and so I have gotten a selenite splinter before, so if you guys get a tower like this, be careful of selenite splinters. I totally think that there is something magical itself to a selenite splinter, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I was gonna get something before I started this. What was it? I don't know. If I think of it, I'll just talk about it then. Okay. So, how about everybody type what they know about selenite, why they like it, etc. Rachel, that's awesome. She said she just got a chunk of raw selenite from Colorado yesterday. That's so cool. So we're going to look up selenite, and we're going to start in Scotty's book. Element of PQRS, TVA, selenite. Selenite! 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 134, 170, 130. Okay, let's write these down. Joyce Jordan made it! I knew you'd be here. Did you just get here, Joyce? We've been talking about you all day because I chose this book to add to our reading because you said you got it. So we've been talking about you, my love. Alright, so selenite. We're looking up the, and Kimberkiss, you're right, it is purdy. It is purdy. Selenite. 113, 134. Also on page... Wait, nope, I was wrong. That's Selene. Selenite's on page 134, 178, 179, 134, 178, 179. What else? It's also on page 183, 188, and 189. 183, 188, 189. So, for those of you who... These are the pages. Pages 134, 178, 179, 183, 188, and 189. So let's go to the first page, 139. You guys really make my day. I can't say that enough. Oh, it says 134, not 139. Can't even read my own damn writing. Oh, there's only a tiny bit in here. It does not say much at all. Look how small that section is. Bummer, Scotty. Okay. Selenite. Let's have... Who wants to guess the energy? Anyone want to guess the energy of this baby? For instance, the energy of solidite is receptive. The energy of sapphire is protective. The energy of serpentine is protective. What do we think the energy of selenite is? So Rachel guessed clarity. Iridescency is female. Luna's Muse says, I love you, Jen. I love you too. The energy of selenite is receptive. So you will be receiving receptive energy from this, which is great for tangerine or anybody who does who does workings to be using, because it's going to help you with your divination, having that receptive energy. Now let's guess the planet. Who wants to guess the planet? Luna's Muse said the moon. And Joyce said she thinks it has a female energy. Scotty doesn't give a gender in this book. You know how with our Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs he gives a gender, masculine or feminine? Ricky Bunce, you're right. And Luna's Muse, you're right. It's the moon. The planet associated with this is the moon. And that makes a lot of sense because of the color. And also, if you ever see an ingredient called moon dust, that is selenite crushed up in your mortar and pestle. That's what moon dust is. Okay? Your favorite stone is moonstone? That's awesome. Okay, so now let's guess the element. What element do you think is attached to this? Do you think it is fire or earth or water or air? Are those all the elements? Yeah, what element? Joyce says salt or earth. Kimberkiss guessed water. Madam Butterfly guessed water. And it is, in fact, water. Good job, you guys. And I think that that's an easy one to remember because it's clear, and water, when it's in glass, is also clear. So that's a good way to remember it. Very good, I love my Danes. Yes, Rachel said water as well. Alright, now let's talk about the powers. Does anybody know the powers? There are two that Scotty lists here. And you're more than welcome to go ahead and give your guesses, but Scotty says that the powers are reconciliation. So if you need to get somebody back together, doing a working like this. Oh, Kimberkiss says because the moon controls waters. That's a good way to remember them both. I like that a lot. Alright, so reconciliation is one of the powers, and one of the other powers are energy. Now, I want to tell a little tiny story about selenite and also about tangerine and conspiracy theories. Okay, so I recommend movies and shows all the time, and some of the few people that take my recommendations are actually here. I recommended Lunatics and Tangerine's watching that, and honestly, I want to sit down and talk about the collection all day. I feel so connected to that show. Tangerine, have you seen the part where they are watching for the dolls to move? Her and her bestie? Oh my god, it's so fun. I think I saw Snoopy's paw move. Oh my gosh, so funny. So anyway, one of the things that I've recommended to Tangerine in the past was a movie by John Carpenter called They Live. And it's actually a documentary. And if you've ever seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But basically, it's a fiction movie based on, and it came out way before The Matrix, but it's basically, just watch it. It's called They Live by John Carpenter. It's not long. You can find it on Amazon, blah, 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 blah. I told Tangerine, I love this movie, it's so important that people watch it, but I can't watch it without getting a crazy, crazy, extremely blinding headache. Now, I think that this has to do with my blood type and a lot of different things. Yes, Rowdy Roddy Piper's in it, exactly. It's a great, 1986 film or something. And it's basically about this guy who finds a pair of glasses, and when he puts the glasses on, he can actually see what things are in real life. So instead of a billboard that has people kissing, it says reproduce, and instead of this thing telling the laws, it says obey. So everything around, and the TVs are really saying other. It's about a lot of things. But anyway, and that's the basis of the movie. But the fact that I got such a striking headache, and there's only a couple of other times this has happened to me, but when watching a certain thing, Tangerine told me she felt that same blinding headache when she watched that movie, and she said she put selenite in between her and her television screen, and it cleansed that away, and she was able to watch it properly. I tried the same thing and it worked, and I just thought that that was really, really unique and cool. So selenite, reconciliation, and the other power is energy, and I completely believe that this will block negative energies from me, from my head. So just wanted to say that. And if you ever have that thing where it's just, you're really a highly sensitive person or an empath, the selenite can really work as an energy blocker, as crazy as that sounds. And Brenda just says, ha, I've got a giant bar right in front of my TV. It totally works. So I'm glad that other people are experiencing this too. And Rachel says that's why she bought it. And B says by the computer too. Yep. Amazing. Okay, so magical uses of selenite. Selenite is a clear, layered mineral. Superficially resembling calcite. I remembered I was going to get my nail clippers and trim my nails. Because it's embarrassing that they're dirty. You have a wand next to your TV? Like one like this? Is this the selenite wand? I don't really know. Let me finish reading this and then I'll clip my nails. Selenite is clear layered mineral specifically resembling calcite. Named for Selene, an ancient moon goddess, it is exchanged between lovers for reconciliation. Exchange between lovers for reconciliation. If you have somebody that you need to reconcile with, you could either give them a piece of selenite as a gift, or you could put it into a necklace. I'm sure that you can get polished selenite or even raw pieces and make them into beads, tie some on. I mean, obviously this would be a giant statement piece that I wouldn't be afraid to wear, but I'm saying like it would be, it's very, very heavy. So, and Luna's Muse says she has one that looks like a unicorn horn. I've seen those, and she says it's 2 pounds, and then 2 pounds of the selenite sticks. That's so cool. Selenite sticks are great to put on oil, like an anti-negativity oil, or an oil that you need, or a reconciliation oil. Luna's Muse says to use for crystal grids. That's awesome. So, it's so good for the reconciliation. The stone is also worn to lend energy to the body. Okay, so you can wear this if you need energy. You can also eat beet pollen if you need energy. That's something I found out lately that works so good for energy. So that's the only place it's what it says in there. I'm going to clip my nails real quick and then we're going to get on to page 178. And it's in the tables. Okay, who wants to guess what... Oh no, we already did it. Planetary Rulers. Selenite is the moon. These stones are suitable for uses in rituals involving sleep, prophetic dreams, gardening, love, healing, the sea, the home, fertility, peace, compassion, and spirituality. The candle colors that go with this is white or silver. Again, selenite is one of the 9 stones that are suitable for rituals involving sleep, prophetic dreams, gardening, love, healing, the sea, the home, fertility, peace, compassion, and spirituality. Candle colors are white and silver. Okay, now it's going to come up on page 179. Oh, that was 179. Oh, the fact that it's a receptive stone. Well, let's talk about that. These stones are soothing and de-stressing and are related to love, wisdom, compassion, eloquence, sleep, dreams, friendship, growth, fertility, prosperity, spirituality, psychism, and mysticism. Okay? So you can use it for that receptive quality, and it's a stone that is soothing, distressing, and related to love, wisdom, compassion, eloquence, sleep, dreams, friendship, growth, fertility, prosperity, spirituality, psychism, and mysticism. Great information, Scotty. Thank you. So now we're on to page 183. And it's breaking down the elemental rulers. Now, we found it under the element of water. And let's read about water stones. Stones of this element are used in love rituals and for healing, compassion, reconciliation, friendship, purification, de-stressing, peace, sleep, dreams, and psychism. Selenite is a stone that is self-cleansing. You never have to charge it, and you never have to cleanse it, okay? I do keep mine in the window because I like moonlight to shine on it. Now I know why. Now I know why I like moonlight to shine on it, is because my intuition had paired those two things up. And I trust my intuition. I Love My Dane says in caps, do you know of any way of using this for magic? What do you mean? Please elaborate. That's what we're talking about, you know. For the water element, you can use it in love rituals, healing, compassion, reconciliation, you know, so that's what we're talking about right now. I hope that makes sense. Okay, and so page 188 and 189, that's the last two places it's to come up in this book. And I don't see it on page 188. If anybody does find it on that page... Oh! No, because it says solidite, not selenite. Oh, it's under physical energy on page 188. So, basically... Okay, so here are... Okay, I gotta break this down for you guys. In the back of the book, magical intentions. Just like in Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, okay? So, if you're trying to make a working for astral projection, here's the stones to use for it. For beauty, here's the stones. For business success, centering, childbirth, dieting, defensive magic, all the stones are here. Divination. So, you use your green book to figure out what to put in the working, and now you're going to use this book and our magical intentions to figure out what stone will heighten the working. Example. This is my money oil. Okay? I have a balcum, or baculum, I don't really know how to pronounce it. It's a raccoon penis bone that I use as the applicator. So I open the lid, I dip this penis bone into here, and then anoint my candles and stuff with it. Why do I use that? Because I want my money to be fertile. I want to be fertile in money. Okay? Fertility doesn't just mean babies. And here I have a citrine point, and citrine is excellent for money drawing, and a lot of us know that. That's why I keep a citrine in Gertrude's water bath, because I have Gertrude, my Rose of Jericho, assist me in drawing monies. So when I do up an oil, everything inside, all the herbs, came of suggestions from Scott Cunningham's Green Book, Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, and I go and I use the intentions list, the magical intentions list, to pick my herbs, okay? And then you'll use this book to figure out how these different stones will help you with your magical intentions. So hopefully that makes sense. And I think I have my money oil in a video. I think I did a video on it. Yep. Okay, so selenite, you can use it under the categories it falls under here. And so, for instance, astral projection, you could use crystal, quartz, tourmalated, opal. For beauty, amber, cat's eye, jasper, opal, zircon orange. Business success, bloodstone, malachite, tourmaline green, yellow zircon. Centering, calcite, brown zircon. Childbirth, geodes, pumice, sard. Courage. So that's how we're connecting the stones to the working, is page 185 for a couple of pages, talking about mental powers, meditation, luck, longevity, so these few pages here are the gold of the book. The magical intentions sections of Scott Cunningham's books are the gold of the book, in my opinion. So, putting a special tag here, and definitely gonna keep this book out more. Again, there's still parts of these books that I find that I haven't even utilized yet, and I'm just like, yes, you know? Alright, so it doesn't fall under a birthstone or anything like that. I need to do a nail trim. I don't think selenite's gonna come up in here, but let's just have a look, why don't we? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Who knows what show that song's from? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now we're done. If anybody wants me to look up something that would fall under crystal, gem, or metal, now's the time. I'm going to interact with you guys, and Sesame Street! Yes, Uncle Badger, thank you! Perfect. Lunchbox says, does it say anything about stones that connect with planets like Jupiter or Mercury? Absolutely. And Lunchbox, so now that's what we're looking for, you guys. Lunchbox has suggested to talk about the planet Jupiter and Mercury, and now we're going to do that. Okay, but I want to say really quickly, oh, don't forget, Jennifer. It's gone. That's how quick it comes in and out. Selenite is in here on page 223, so I gotta read that. And here's page 223 of Stick, Stones, Roots, and Bones. Let's see if we can find selenite in here. You know the goddess Isis. I know the goddess Isis. She's of Egyptian pantheon. And it says here, I'll just start reading from the middle. Isis is a milk-giving, nurturing goddess. Her nurturing quality was considered into mere sexuality in contemporary readings of Aphrodite and Venus. But they are still all much more goddess of love in a sexual manner. Isis is a serpent when she wants to be, although she can fly like a hawk and is usually depicted as the winged goddess. And you'll see her a lot of times with these big giant wings spread out. That's Isis. Now, what else to say about that? Stones associated with Isis are also moonstones. Aquamarine, moonstone, sapphire, beryl, quartz crystals, and selenite. And that's when the one-time selenite came up in this book. And you can use it to represent the moon in a mojo bag. So that's the information that we're suggested on selenite out of stick, stones, roots, and bones. Now let's talk about, so this is what I was going to say, lunchbox. Mercury is oh, I can't see anything without these on. Mercury is a really dangerous substance to work with, and we learned a lot about that from dental work. It would make dentists numb in their bodies. It would temporarily paralyze them, and long-term effects were horrible. Madame Curie, I think she's the one who discovered radium and mercury. Madame Curie, I learned about her from the television show The Big Bang Theory. Thank you very much, Sheldon Cooper. Love it. So I want to say, one way I work with mercury in the safest way possible, and it's not a safe way, basically, you know the old school glass thermometers? Mercury, yeah, put it in your mouth, why not? Mercury is what makes those things work, those old glass thermometers. So, if you want to use mercury in your working, maybe you could stir it with an old glass thermometer, and that's how I use it. And it's one of the best ways to represent mercury is actual mercury, but it's just so bloody dangerous. So we'll look it up in both of these books. Mercury and, what was it, Lunchbox Jupiter? Mercury and Jupiter. I'm trying to find the comment really quick. Does it say anything about stones that connect to planets like Jupiter or Mercury? Okay. I believe it does. I believe that in the back, it's got a section of planetary rulers. So, let me find that for you, Lunchbox. It's my pleasure. Yes, it does. Okay, so on page 179 is where the planetary rulers start. Okay, and I'll go ahead and read all the stones that go with that. And hey Heather, how are you? Welcome, my love. Hey Heather, make sure you're subscribed to Freshwater Fairies, who was in the chat. I'm sorry I said the S word. Make sure that you've hung and rung that bell because she's going to be putting out her first video today, and we're all really excited to support her and her channel. Freshwater Fairies. She's in the chat, or was before. Okay, so planetary rulers, the third one down. So it goes the sun, the moon, and then the first one is Mercury. I've always felt in my intuition that Mercury is one of the strongest planets to work with. Hey, there you are, Freshwater Fairy. Alright, so Mercury. These stones are used for strengthening mental powers and for eloquence, divination, studying, self-improvement, communication, travel, and wisdom. Color candle, yellow. And here are the Mercury stones. Agate, adventurine, mottled, M-O-T-T-L-E-D, mottled jasper, mica, and pumice. So again, Mercury, the stones are used for strengthening mental powers and for eloquence, divination, studying, self-improvement, communication, travel, and wisdom. Color candle, yellow, and we have agate, adventurine, mottled jasper, mica, and pumice. Now, we will talk about Jupiter, which was the other one that she had asked me to talk about. Okay, so Jupiter, these stones are fine for spirituality, meditation, psychism, and religious ritual. So Jupiter, they give us 3 stones. They're good for spirituality, meditation, psychism, and religious ritual. Purple candles can be burned in conjunction with these stones in ritual. Amethyst, lepidolite, Lepidolite, and Sugilite, Sugilite. Amethyst, lepidolite, and Sugilite. While I am here with the planets, does anybody want to know the other planets or one in particular? Or should I just move on to another question and we can... You love lepidite, Brenda? That's awesome. Okay, Mercury. Elemental precurus. Okay, so, you're a Sagittarius and your favorite crystal is amethyst. That's awesome. You're intrigued by Jupiter? Let's read Jupiter. Oh, we did read Jupiter. Alright, so I'm up for suggestions. Do you guys have something you want me to look up within these books? Perhaps a metal to talk about, or a gem or a crystal. That's kind of our focus for the video today, and I'm really happy that we're able to stay on topic and yeah, more questions. So let's go ahead. Do you guys have a topic you want me to look up? Hey, hon, are you okay? Does it make a difference if the stone has been cut and polished like amethyst? Well, I think absolutely. I think the rawness of a stone, that the less manufactured it's been, the less altered it's been, I think that the energies are stronger in those unpolished stones. My opinion. But a lot of people would probably tell you you can use it the exact same way, which you can. I just feel like in a raw, unpolished stone... Okay, I do have a question. What are the uses for Haematite crystal? So I'll look that up for you, Kimberkiss. Good information. I was trying to make the connection to Jupiter as a money planet. In a Jason Miller book you're reading, it says Jupiter acts like the savings account and Mercury moves the money. Interesting! Thank you for that, Lunchbox. I really appreciate the, yeah, they work together, it sounds like. Alright, so we're going to look up that crystal for, Kimberkiss, and it's called Cavanite. 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 I've never heard of it, and it's not in this book. Is there another name for it, Kimberkiss? Let me go get my crystal book and I'll see if it's not in there. This is my other crystal book that I have. It's called the Crystal Bible, a definitive guide to crystals. This is the first edition. No, it's not in here either, Kimberkiss. I wonder what it is, but I don't know. You stumped me in my books. You stumped us. Could I look up I'll look it up, Heather, sure. Is it a stone, a crystal, or a... I don't know that word. Dioptase. D-I-O. Just Dionysus. D-I-O-P. You guys are stumping me in my books. D-I-O-P. Hey, I found it! So this is what she's asked me to look up. Thank you, Heather. I don't know how to pronounce it, but perhaps this book will help me on that. I'm just catching up on comments super quick. Linnea typed in caps, Jen, something to make known as that malachite dust is dangerous. Thank you for letting us know that, Linnea. I appreciate it. Malachite contains arsenic, Joyce Jordan says, and Linnea says yes, it does. Okay, so, and she says, oh, I think it's a mineral. Alright, so, Dioptase. Now, there's two forms pictured in the book. There's a blue-green non-crystal, and then there's this chunk, which looks like how amethyst forms, where there's a rock on the outside and then the crystals on the inside, and that is the crystalline form. Hi, Otis, I love you so much. So the color is a deep blue-green or emerald green. And the appearance, it says, brilliant small crystals usually on a matrix or non-crystalline mass. Rarity, quite rare and expensive. I like that this book tells you that because you know, it's important that we know if it's going to be easy to attain and if it's going to be pricey. Yes, so rarity, quite rare and expensive. Source, Iran, Russia, Namibia, Democratic Republic of the Congo, North Africa, Chile, and Peru. And then we'll read about the attributes. It is a powerful healer for the heart and an opener for the higher heart chakra. Its wonderful blue-green color brings all the chakras up to a greater level of functioning and facilitates spiritual attunement, reaching the highest levels of consciousness. It has a dramatic effect on the human energy field. Psychologically, this stone promotes living in the present moment and, paradoxically, activates past life memories. It supports a positive attitude to life and instills the ability to tune into one's own resources, working in all areas of life to turn negative into positive. It overcomes any sense of lack and enables fulfilling potential. It is especially helpful when you do not know what to do next, as it indicates you in your direction. Mentally, this stone is a strong mental cleanser and detoxifier. It releases the need to control others. Emotionally, the stone can act as a bridge to emotional healing, especially for the child within. So it would be good for shadow work then as well. I still have to clip my nails. Guys, I'm falling behind. Its green ray reaches deep within the heart to absorb festering wounds and forgotten hurts. It dissolves grief, betrayal, and sorrow, and it is extremely effective for healing heartache and the pain of abandonment. This stone teaches us that ultimately pain and difficulty in a relationship is a mirroring of an inner separation from the self. Repairing that link and drawing in love at all levels, it can heal an emotional black hole that is desperate for love. This stone clears away perceptions as to how love ought to be and brings in new vibrations of love. Spiritually, this stone is placed on the third eye. It will activate spiritual attunement with psychic vision. It brings awareness of inner riches. Healing. This stone regulates cell disorders, activates T cells. I am not a doctor. And the thymus. It relieves this disease called Meniere's disease. It eases high blood pressure. I am not a doctor. and alleviates pain from migraines. It prevents heart attacks, I am not a doctor, and heals heart conditions. This stone lessens fatigue and overcomes shock. It is a detoxifier, it lessens nausea, and it regenerates the liver. I am not a doctor. It is particularly effective for overcoming addictions and stress. Okay, I'm putting a mark on the page because I do a lot of magical workings with addiction and recovery. I am not a doctor. Use as an elixir for headaches and pain. Okay. Position over the heart chakra. Excellent as a gem essence. So it would make a really good... you have to separate the stones from the water. Do you see how there's a glass separation and 2 opening lids? I can put any stone into this bottle and charge my waters with it. But don't put stones directly in your water. Don't do it, because a lot of stones break down and it can be very poisonous. I'm not a doctor. Oh, and Heather says it is associated with the Celtic goddess Flidas. F-L-I-D-I-A-S. Thank you. Okay, so that is what we got from that, and I really enjoyed that. Thank you, Heather, for having us read about that. Now is another time for you guys to throw out a gem mineral if you guys want. And also Joyce Jordan says any of the Gemstones books by Dan Dennis are darn good reference in the geological contents of a gem, whether it is precious or semi-precious. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, Kimberkiss. That was super fun. Alright, let's think of another one, you guys. Any metals you guys want to read about? Or we could talk about magical intentions. We could talk... Well, maybe we should talk about moonstone. That's been coming up a lot in the chat. Moonstone. Oh, Brenda says lead. Okay, great. And then we got Rachel with rainbow hematite. Okay, perfect. Let's talk about lead. Let's talk about rainbow hematite and then lead, because I think rainbow hematite will be easier. Or quicker. Rainbow hematite. I'm looking for it under hematite, though. 100 to 101. Hematite, it doesn't say that there's a rainbow variety, but I'm just going to read the section on hematite really quick. The hematite has a folk name of volcano spit. Did you guys know that hematite has the name volcano spit? I am still alive. Oh my gosh, it's been over 2 hours. I didn't even really realize that. I am. Hi, Dangerous Eyes. Nice to see you. Yeah, see you soon, Thomas. Okay, so folk name is volcano spit. Does anyone want to guess the energy of hematite? I'll give you guys a chance to guess the energy, the planet, and the element. The energy, the planet, and the element. Hematite. Okay, hematite is here in this book as well. Here's a couple pictures of it raw, tumbled, etc. I want to show you my hematite. It's about 7 or 8 pounds. And this is, to me, so gorgeous. I love how it looks like bubbly lava. And I love that I can hold it right in my hand. Yeah. Really love that one. So, but I've never even heard of a rainbow hematite. I'm really excited to hopefully find that. So, hematite. The energies. Did we get any guesses? Earth, Pluto, female. Good guesses, Heather. Iridescent sea said Saturn. Bye, Lune. I love you. And Rachel said protection. Good guess. Okay, let's read about it. Energy. Rachel, you're spot on. Protective. Planet is Saturn. And again, this isn't on rainbow hematite, just hematite, because I wasn't able to find it. The element is fire, and that makes a lot of sense to me because it looks like bubbly lava. This piece that I've got, it literally looks like bubbly lava. Mom taxi time. Bye, Brenda. Enjoy your mom taxi time. The element is fire. Like I said, that makes a lot of sense. The powers are healing, grounding, and divination. And I use that for anxieties, and so it makes a lot of sense that it's grounding. And I use it in meditation just because it's healing. And that was the I went in with anxiety, and this lady at the shop was like helping me find a stone. We've got some magical ritual and lore. Hematite is a strange stone. It's heavy, solid, and silvery black. It is heavy for how big it is. Its name alone is something of a mystery. To the ancients, hematite was what we know as bloodstone. So virtually all magical information relating to hematite in old books refers to bloodstone. Did you guys know that? I didn't. This hematite, though, when worked with on a lapidary wheel, bleeds and produces stains that look much like blood, or so I'm told. Let's see if it makes a stain on my book. No. Didn't make any mark on my book. I don't know. Hematite is a fine, showy stone. In Italy and elsewhere, it is fashioned into necklaces, and they are sold as volcano spit. Magical information relating to this stone is scarce. You know, if it's known as volcano spit, I bet we're going to find it in Scotty's Hawaiian Magic book. Hold on, let me go get that. My new book. Let me get my new book. This was a gift to the channel by Luna's Muse. Thank you again. And because it's hematite is also known as volcano spit, and that we know that Scotty spent so much time in Hawaii, I want to see if there's a special section in here on hematite or on volcano spit. No. Not hematite's not in here, but maybe there's a category for stones. Volcano spit, also not in here, just volcano. So what about stones? Okay, well, it was worth a try. Didn't find anything about it in there, but if I do, I'll let you guys know. Later on or whatever. Hematite is a fine showy stone. Hematite possesses the curious property of healing itself, which, you know, is actually really similar to selenite. Self-cleansing, self-charging. Sounds kind of similar. It heals itself. Make a small scratch on the surface of the stone and then rub your finger over it. The scratch may disappear. Magical uses. Hematite is said to be powerful in drawing illness from the body. As with all stones, it is held in the hands while visualizing. Okay, I've never read that part of the book. But I told you guys earlier that I put the stone in my hand, I use it for meditation, and most of my meditations are strengthening my visualization. Okay? It's a huge tool in strengthening your visualization, and the way that your mind works, you can train it to visualize quite easily with meditation. So it's interesting to me that I've been using the stone for what it's meant to be used for, even though I've never read that before. Okay? So, Hematite is said to be powerful in drawing illnesses from the body. As with all stones, it is held in the hands while visualizing, then placed on the skin directly over the afflicted area. So really will be powerful in energy workings if you work with stones and energy. A necklace of small stones can also be worn for healing. Hematite is worn for grounding and stabilizing purposes and to focus the attention on the physical plane. A scrying, a dark room with a red candle, settle before it and hold a large piece of hematite so that the candle's flame is reflected on it. So see how you can get reflections on this stone? Get the candlelight to reflect upon it. Gaze at the reflection and visualize a question. The answer will come to you. Alex is telling me that every single day in our greenhouse we've had a passion fruit flower bloom. You got another passion fruit flower this morning?
Yeah, today's the 7th day in a row.
7th day in a row. So we've had 7 passion flowers, one bloom every day from our passion fruit little tree. I had a big group of people that left. Did somebody go live? Let's see who's on. Porter Farmer. Yeah, if you guys have to go, it's no big deal. I was just wondering where everybody went. Alright, so you want to grow poppies and black roses? That sounds like a beautiful combination. And then Luna's Muse says rainbow kind is probably a process where they bond platinum to the stone. Oh, Iridescent Ceases, she has a passion flower too. That's great. Okay, so we read everything that we could read on hematite. And I think since we're 2.5 hours in, I should probably be done. I don't want to fall behind on my tarot cards. No, Alex didn't take about pictures of them, but I can go show you guys the passion flowers. Should we close the video by looking at some passion flowers? Let's do it! Guys, thanks for talking about stones and giving me things to chit-chat about. Let me do something super quick before I forget. And we'll go and look at the passion flowers outside. Oh, fuck it, I'll do it later. Sorry for swearing. Kind of all over the shop at the moment. Yeah, let's go look at the passion flowers. I've been meaning to show you guys them for a couple of days now since he's been talking about them. And believe me, when they fall off, I'm like, keep those suckers for me. I need them for my magical workings. I can't afford passion flower. Alright, Joyce, love you too. My crazy pajamas. Should we go back for another video and just talk about the show Friends and laugh about it because it's hilarious? Let me know if you guys want to come back and talk about Friends. We'll do a video just to talk about episodes of Friends. I've seen every episode over 100 times. Oh, it's wet out here. Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
Will you take them in there and show them the passion flowers? I don't have shoes on. You guys want to come back and talk about Friends? Okay, we will. We'll come back in a second video.
Dude, the fucking passion flower Mike bought me is already getting blooms on it.
Come on.
What?
He never listens. I mean, I'm gonna have to get...
I
I gotta get shoes on. I can't go out there in the water. I'm made of sugar. I'd surely melt. I'll get some shoes on. Okay. Yeah? Yeah, but I was tired of waiting.
You don't have much patience.
Well, you were talking to the neighbor, and well, okay then. Let's go see those passion flowers now that I got my UGG diverts on. You need my address to mail me something, I love my Danes? Okay, I'll give it to you on Skype because I use a P.O. box. Jen, you don't have Skype, but something to mail you. Alright guys, here. I'll write down my P.O. box.
Am I doing it or no?
I'm doing it.
Be careful.
I will be careful, hon. Okay. If you guys want to send birthday gifts for my birthday, here is my P.O. box. Or if you want to make any donations to the channel. Got it? Seabeck, S-E-A-B-E-C-K, Washington, 98380, P.O. Box 383. If you guys want to send donations to the channel, right now the channel needs donations of candles, basically. Candles, art supplies, any herbs, anything, books. So yeah, donations or birthday gifts. P.O. Box 383, Seabeck, Washington, 98380, Jennifer Z. Let's go look at those passion flowers. So excited. They're so pretty. Ah! Jen, we were wearing the same cardigan. Really? This cardigan? I got it thrifted, of course. It's kind of a gloomy, rainy day in Seattle. We don't get a ton of those, but here's one. Ugh. So we're in the greenhouse, and I'm looking for the passion flower. I don't know where it is. We'll find it though. Oh my god, look at these figs, you guys. They're huge. Look how big they are. It's figs galore in here. Figs galore. Where is the passion flower he's yucking about? I'm not really, I don't come in here a lot anymore. I have no idea. Alex!
What?
Where's the, oh, I found it. Never mind.
What?
I found it.
Shut the door.
Here's the passion flowers. Can you guys see them? Oh, they're very high. The top of the greenhouse. You guys saw? Okay. That's your first time seeing figs? Oh, figs are so special to Alex. We have so many varieties of figs, but I'm, oh, and I love to use the leaves to make tea. And you can press them and put them in your Book of Shadows, but the fig leaf tea tastes so good. But yeah, look at all those figs. Those are just so gorgeous. So gorgeous. Alright guys, so I'm going to go inside and we're going to talk about the show Friends. We'll make a separate video for it. So I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you guys soon. Make sure everybody's hugged and ring for Freshwater Fairies, because she's putting out her first video today. Super exciting. See you guys back, and we'll have some talk about Friends, and then I'm gonna get to work on my